All right, today we're talking about taking out this lost motion on a Bridgeport Series 1 style mill and why this happens, why this gets out of adjustment, how you adjust it. And we're going to show you this piece over here on the bench because we got one of these completely stripped down. And we're going to show you how the X and Y axis works here with the controls. And let's get over there and take a look at it. Okay, so here is that table, the piece that holds the table, excuse me, the big long X-axis, the big table that holds the vise goes on top. And this is where, if you're standing out in front of the mill, the crank is where the thread goes into here. And you can see that bronze bushing. Let me see if we get that to focus in there. You can see that bushing back in there. It looks just like this one here with those threads. And that's where that front handle runs the table in and out. And this one up here that runs, I'm going to call it the X, left to right. I don't know if that's right or not, but this bronze bushing goes in this here, and you can see this is all one piece. And of course, this is the oiling system here with these black tubes that oils everything. Once the machine is together, you pump a little handle on the side, and everything gets lubed. But our goal today is to make sure this piece here is going to be adjustable enough that when it's all together on this big long X shaft, which there's handle cranks on each end, right, that makes the table go left and right. We thread this thing on like this, and just sitting here with no tension on it, because this thing actually gets squeezed together inside the housing over there, you can feel that there's slop in here, and you can see that where they only cut this thing 3/4 around, there's like 1/4 of it that's still together right here. This is designed to squeeze together and take that slop out. And I'll show you how that works. So if we look at it like this, there's a machine part here for the screw, which is right here. You can see that in this screw right here. Threads in here. Once this is all together, this goes all the way in and hits a collar on this far end and stops, a positive stop. So there's a keyway to keep this from turning right here, or keyway. And thus this goes all the way in like that, it stops, and then this screw goes in here, pushes on that little half moon shape there, on that machined piece. It's machined perfectly for that screw, and that tightens up, and it takes those two pieces and squeezes them together, and you can adjust it as you're turning the threaded Acme shaft in and out of this piece. You can adjust that screw and take that slop out as you're adjusting the screw. And then when you're all said and done, there's a tiny little screw that actually locks it in, and it threads in like right there, if you can see that. So our next step here is to take this, two things. I'm going to take it to the lathe, and I'm going to shine it up with some emery cloth so it'll slide in and out. There's some beat marks on this, and we had to actually tap it out this way. We tapped it out. But you can see there's actually marks on here where they pounded it in like it wasn't quite, somebody must have had this apart. So we're going to make it so it slides freely in and out. So when this piece hits the collar and they're cut in half, because I'm going to cut this in half too, we're going to get rid of this all together, this piece. We're going to cut that out. So now I'll have two pieces. And so the first piece will slide in until it hits. The next piece will slide nice and easy up to it. We can adjust it up. We'll thread our long threaded shaft through. And then we can feel the slop, and then turn it. We'll actually put a handle on the end of that out here, and we'll turn it. It's all sitting here on the table, so we get everything adjusted before we put it together. So we're going to cut this apart, so we'll have more adjustment. We may not need it, don't really know, but down the road, if I ever have to adjust it again, I'll have more options than just this. If that makes sense, I'll have more adjustability. So, but right now it doesn't want to slide in, so I'm going to smooth it down so it goes in and out. Then I'm going to cut it in half and take it to the lathe and just cut those little burrs off so these faces are nice and flat on both sides. So that's what I'm doing next. All right, so we got it cut in half, and you can see there's a piece here that we're gonna have to machine down in the lathe to match the rest of the surface where the two of them were connected. Just a tidbit here of information. We already did this to the other y-axis where the table runs in and out. This is left to right, this one. But the other ones we already cut it in half and it's all adjusted. But the mistake that we made is we put this in the lathe and took the surface all the way down, and this leading edge on that thread got pushed over. This bronze, it tightened up real tight, and we couldn't even screw it on the thread. This piece wouldn't even screw on because we screwed up this leading edge on this thread, and we had to go back through and put in the lathe again and do an aggressive cut on that. So I think this plan for this one, sorry, get to the center there. The plan here is to take this piece down only just till it matches the rest and not get so aggressive. Okay, so we got the two halves surfaces machined, and they thread on real nice onto the shaft. So we're gonna make sure we're putting the right one in first. We know this one with the indentation here for the screw will go in second for the adjuster. So this one will go first. So we know this is the side that goes out for sure because of the dicom and the shoulders right here. So that'll slide in, that'll put us right spot for the oil hole. So we feel good about that. We'll line this up with the keyway. Slides in real nice. All the way to the end there. We probably need a little tap on that. There it goes. She's in all the way now. This one going next. So we got our machined surface, the half moon for our adjuster screw. Slide that in. Get the adjuster screw in there like that. We'll get it started, not tighten it, of course. Then we'll see if we can get our shaft to thread in there. At least flush right there. This feels nice and tight. So I hope you found that helpful. Keep an eye on the channel. We got more videos coming of this mill going back together. We got to put the knee on it. Table's going to go on it. We got to put the head on it. We're going to go do some stuff on the head too and check it out before we put it together. We haven't had it running since we bought it. So come along on our adventure. More to watch. Tell your neighbors and friends. Thanks for watching here at South Omaha Speed.